Welcome to West Country Wanderings. Today we're heading off to Bath Spa. I'm currently in Swindon. Bath is only just over 20 minutes down the track. We're going to have a look at a part of Bath which doesn't get looked at very often. There's also some canals and locks involved. So why not join me for another tour here on West Country Wanderings. So here we are at Bath Spa Station. So the part of Bath Spa that we're going to is Widcombe. We need to go underneath these bridges, or through the bridges should I say, to get to the other side of crossing the tracks, and then we're going to go over the river. Not seen round that side of the Bath railway station before. It's quite delightful. Normally just head out into the city centre from the other side like most of the tourists do. We've got the bus station, transport up to it, but now we're going over the River Avon. Now this is the mooring for Bath Bottom Lock, narrow boat there on the right. You can just make out a bridge there, and that is where the Kennet and Avon Canal joins the River Avon here in Bath. This is what I like about Bath. You think you know the city, but when in actual fact you don't. There's always hidden corners of it that I've always yet to discover, even though I only live about 40 miles away from the city. I've been coming here for years and years, since I was very, very young. There's always new bits that I seem to find. It is one of those cities that likes to release its treasures gently and gradually over the years. So we're now in Widcombe High Street, which is a most delightful place. Very, very beautiful here. I'll see if I can walk up to the canal after the shop, so it should be at the other end. So Widcombe Surgery on the right hand side here. Now, not far from here is Prior Park, which is a National Trust park, and it also takes you up to Bath Skyline, where you've got views over the city. Hope to do some of that today, but unfortunately there's a rail strike on, and the later trains back home have been cancelled, so I need to have an early getaway. So this here is Bath Deep Lock, kind of the first looking one on the network from the River Avon. But it's also the second deepest lock in the country. I love these decorative bridges over the Kennet and Avon Canal in Bath. I've come across them before when we were in Sydney Gardens, when I met up with fellow YouTuber Louise from Southwest Sundays. And here we can see that bridge, probably all of them that are on the K&A in Bath, made by Stothert. I don't know if that was the manufacturer or the engineer. If you know, let me know. I noticed that according to the sign, if we continue on the towpath in this direction, it does indeed take us to Sydney Gardens, where we have been previously on the channel. We're not going to go that way today, so I'm going to just follow up the towpath for a bit and head back into Widcombe. But yeah, lovely bright sunny morning here. Just to let you enjoy the natural sounds now. I do like the inscription. It says upon it, "Time is the waterway of all our days. We are dreamers on its banks." So true. It's also a sundial as well, but unfortunately it's under a bit of a shade of a tree at the moment, so I'm not able to tell the time from it. But I'm sure when the sun's in the right position, should be able to get an angle on the sun time. I think you agree that must be one of the finest views in Bath, looking down on the Kennet and Avon as it winds its way down to the Bath River Avon basin and through that very deep, second deepest loch. Now, I hadn't realised before just how large the winding hole here is between the second deepest loch and the next loch before you get to Sydney Gardens here on the Kennet and Avon Canal. But yeah, wonderful open space, which is brilliant for wildlife as well in the heart of the city here in Bath. So you have some tremendous independent shops here in Widcombe, really good. Just passing a stationer's there, lovely window display. Seems to be a vibrant community and lots of very diverse range of shops away from the chains that you expect to find in city centre. And I don't see any that are empty as well, because you come into towns and cities, a lot of places these days have empty properties, but not here. Very, very lively community. The cottage in the red there is Ralph Allen Cottage. Now, Ralph Allen was a stonemason, did a lot of the buildings in Bath, and he had this built to house his stonemasons who worked nearby. there is absolutely wonder. Let's go and have a closer look. So it's for Bath Botanical Gin. I don't, as you know, you watch my channel regularly, drink alcohol at all, but yeah, so you've got all the flavourings here, pink pepper, and you've got grapefruit bitters, orange bitters and cocoa bean bitters, all decoratively done out. Oh, we also have Mother's Ruin here and lime zest gin. So we're now here at Bath Abbey Cemetery. Don't worry, it's not a depressing place. When graveyards and cemeteries became very overcrowded towards the end of the 18th century into the early 19th century, this was a problem for Bath Abbey in the centre of the city, of course. So what happened was Reverend Broderick and a landscape gardener called John Claudius Loudon saw the advantage of having a cemetery and a green space for the city dwellers just on the edge of the city. So this land was acquired from the Prior Park estate and was then deemed to be part of the Abbey. It has an elevated site giving lovely views of the area. And when you climb to the top of the Bath Abbey Cemetery, you're rewarded with amazing views right across the city. Now, word of note that Prior Park is near here, and that features a famous Bath skyline walk. I don't have time to do that today, but I will feature that on a future video here on West Country Wanderings. Just notice this gravestone here, very elaborate and ornate, isn't it? It's the gravestone of one William Locker, who was once the MP for Weymouth from 1847 to 1849. He was also a lieutenant colonel and he entered the Army of Ensign in 1811 and posted to Canada, the West Indies and Syria. Throughout the 19th and 20th centuries, many eminent Bath residents were buried here. Diplomats, military men, bishops, musicians, actors and poets. And as you can see, there's several unusual inscriptions and many excellent and varied examples of gravestone art and architecture. There's even a tombstone trail leaflet available from the council. Today, the cemetery is less used, and that's beginning to return to nature once more. And then it's an important site for wildlife. Badgers, butterflies, birds thrive here, and occasionally muntjac deer have been seen as well. Now this truly is a hidden bath, probably only 25 minutes walk from the city centre. Really very peaceful and quiet haven. So this here is Widcombe Manor. It's just up Widcombe Hill from the High Street of Widcombe, the suburb of Bath. What a stunning building that is. It's private property. They've got cars out the front, so I don't want to film that. But yeah, you get the sense of the architecture and the stonemason skills that were used on building it. And this here is St Thomas of Becket Church, Widcombe, which was built in 1498. I think the church is probably closed inside, but let's see if we can get a closer look at it. graveyard here slopes, affords you this angle. I'm just standing normally on the graveyard looking, that's the view, so you can actually see the top of the roof there. There, the amazing tower of St Thomas of Becket Church here in Widcombe in Bath. I was in Bath earlier on, so I caught the train into Bath and walked through a little bit of the town centre before we crossed that pedestrian footbridge across the Avon there, and there were tourists around there. When you came into Widcombe High Street, although it was bustling, the tourists all disappeared. It was like they didn't go south of the river. And here, well, at this church, there's no one else here but me. Now, I didn't think that Bath could be like this. So quiet, peaceful, and essentially rural, although we are still well within the city confines. We're closer to the city centre than what some of the outer suburbs are, which are much busier. Just noticed this plaque here, and this was once the residence of one Henry Fielding, 1707 to 1754, and that's presumably his wife Sarah Fielding here at Widcombe Lodge. So this valley here is the start of the Bath Skyline Walk, which is going to bring the end of this video, because when I come back to Bath next time, yes, you've guessed it, we're going to do the Bath Skyline Walk, which will start from here, just outside the suburb of Widcombe. We'll see if we can also have a look in at the Prior Landscape Garden while we're here as well. But yeah, I didn't realise it was so close to the city centre. It's certainly within a comfortable walking distance, and through Church Lane at Widcombe, it's a most pleasant walk as well. We're going to head back now to the city centre. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this shorter wander around a lesser known part of Bath Spa here today on West Country Wanderings. Until next time on the channel, take care of yourselves, look after yourselves, and I hope to see you soon. All the best. Bye bye.